Miguel Indurain this morning getting ready for today's stage 9 after his magnificent win in the time trial yesterday. Jamaluddin Abdushaparov, the sprinter who astonished everyone by finishing 7th yesterday, he wears the green points jersey. While Laurent Fignon, whose time trial moved him from 21st to 14th overall, a Frenchman in France on Bastille Day. The cheering, however, is for Greg LeMond, very popular in France because he speaks the language, rides for a French team, and wins the Tour. Jean-François Bernard, yesterday was a beginning, a rebirth for this once great rider, while for Eric Roykink it was an end to his streak of time trial wins and to his hopes of leading the race. He told us what went wrong.
I was feeling very good, still at the top of the hill. And I thought after that it's not so difficult anymore, but then the last 8 kilometers was a lot of wind. And I forced a little bit too much on the last hill, I think.
In the last few days, the Tour has traversed much of northern France. Today's stage 9 takes the riders west from Alençon to Rennes, where the region of Brittany begins. The stage, 100 miles of smallish hills, a landscape opening out into bigger fields along the way. Shortly after leaving Alençon, Dmitry Konashev pulls alongside Henri Abadie, joining the Frenchman in a two-man breakaway. On a day following a time trial as demanding as yesterday, the peloton might have been expected to set a quiet pace. Once again this year, that is not the case. A group of 8 now join the early leaders, swelling the breakaway to 10. None of the overall leaders are in this group, but sprinters such as Laurent Jalabert, Johan Brunel, Edwin van Hooijdonk are here, perhaps thinking ahead to the likelihood of a sprint finish at the end of this short stage.
LeMond there has got a little bit more space around him. You very often find this when you're the yellow jersey of the Tour de France. The riders are a little bit too scared to get close to you because they're always worried about knocking you off, and that is the advantage of being the top man. There is Fignon coming alongside LeMond there, just glancing across, Greg having a quick word with him.
But somebody does get knocked down, extending the unfortunate streak of injuries we've seen this year. Marino Alonso of Indurain's Banesto team.
I don't think this breakaway is going to get picked up again today because the lead is over 2.5 minutes now, and what glimpses we've had of the main field, there is no reaction as yet. This is Calcaterra going through, being followed through here now by Thierry Bourguignon, and there is a reaction from the bunch. Greg LeMond has moved up to the front, and it looks as though the Z team are happy to ride along here. Keep an eye on the big leaders in the main field.
So the peloton goes by, headed west on July 14th, France's big national holiday. Nationalism is a powerful force shaping professional bike racing. And through the years, France and French teams have dominated the Tour with 36 victories. Belgium is next. Spain has just 3. America's 3, all by LeMond. Ireland's single win by Stephen Roche, eliminated from this year's Tour early in the race. The peloton in the final miles of today's stage 9, chasing hard. The gap to the break is shrinking steadily. The riders of the break working out their endgame strategies.
And so now the leaders here are entering the outskirts of Rennes. They're 5 kilometers or so from the line, and the gap is now down to 1 minute and 30 seconds, so it's still touch and go, Paul.
Well, it is touch and go. I think at 20 kilometers ago when the riders went through Chateau Giron, I would have said that they were going to get caught, but there's been a little bit of a change in the tactics at the back there. The Panasonic riders deciding not to chase anymore, so the gap went back up a little bit for 10 or 15 seconds, and now it's stabilizing at 1.5 minutes. Now there's 10 kilometers to go now, and it's inside the streets of Rennes, and anything can happen really. I think there's going to be an attack once we go around 1 or 2 of these corners, and the team who will have to do all the work is the Toshiba team, because they have 3 men here, plus the fastest sprinter, Laurent Jalabert.
And that is why Bernard Vallet, the team manager, is up alongside his Toshiba riders there. And I think, Paul, he's telling one of them they must attack.
Well, he will be telling them to watch out for the attacks of the other riders as we go under the banner for 5 kilometers to go. Ribeiro taking up the back here. Riders still wanting to know from their team managers what the gap is behind, because they want to start jostling a little bit for position here, looking for the attack. They don't want to ride as hard as they have been, but always worried about the field coming back from behind.
5 kilometers now for the big field. Greg LeMond, as usual, riding at or near the front and keeping out of trouble and the risk of crashing at the back.
And the break has shrunk to the point where none of the leaders of the race overall will see their positions change today, while now the break group is beginning to split up.
Everybody really getting nervous. This is a tense time. They've all been together as friends up until now for the length of time the breakaway has been away. They've been working together for one goal, and that's to get to the finish in front of the peloton. Now they become enemies when they have to decide if they can jump away from each other. As they come into the finishing straight now, they're launching the sprint, and difficult to see who's leading out here.
Looks like Ribeiro has pulled away from the front of the bunch in the last few seconds of the race, and he's going like an absolute train. Ribeiro has gone off the head of the group. He's never had a stage winner from Brazil in the Tour de France before, and he's gone for it now. He may not be French, but he rides for a French team, and I think he's going to sneak this one right on the line. And Brazil, and there's a turn-up for Bastille Day. It's a French team, but is he going to hang on now? As Konicek comes on the left, and the Mauro Ribeiro in the middle, and right on the line, he gets it. My goodness me!
The peloton, it's race now for 11th place, and they are strung out momentarily with the Belgian Lotto team at the front, 35 miles an hour on the streets of Rennes.
We expect Johan Museeuw. Here he goes on the left of our picture now to try and lead them home. And coming at him too is Etienne de Wilde, the winner the other day rather. De Wilde on the right, Museeuw just takes him.
So with Mauro Ribeiro managing to hold on against Laurent Jalabert, he rides into the history books as Brazil's first ever stage winner. Konicek is third. The overall standings remain roughly the same, with LeMond on top and Breukink and the remarkable Abdi Shaparov just over a minute back. Bunyo and Delgado are around 4 minutes back. Chiappucci was hurt by yesterday's time trial. Andy Hampston is waiting for the mountains. And in the mountain jersey, Belgian's Peter de Klerk. This competition will get serious in the Pyrenees on Thursday. While the green jersey battle, which is more like a war, is led, as it has been all week, by the Soviet Abdi Shaparov. The Tour de France, an international event, as Phil Liggett reports.